minutes.
No, didn't start for me here.
Yeah, there's always the delay, you know. So I would first do
Too
the
much
tweets.
delay! While I'm waiting on delay, I'm trying to draw the map. Now it started.
Yeah.
I can hear myself.
Yeah, you should mute it. Okay. Fish games.
So who do we have in chat? I don't have chat open.
Right. Gotta send a tweet to somebody because he always forgets.
We should have a system for that.
Yeah, you mean a stream reminder system? I don't want to create a
Yeah.
system.
We should have a system that automatically sends mail whenever stream starts.
Doesn't Twitch have something like this actually? If you
Yeah, but
subscribe or
if you
something.
follow a lot of people, you usually don't pay attention and oops. Something went wrong.
I'll just have to find that user. Actually, nah. Anybody in? Okay. Dup and Roy.
Photoshop just crashed.
Photoshop.
Yeah, but thankfully it has a recovery option.
My. Well, it
Oh,
happens.
my heart just stopped for a second there. Didn't want to paint this again.
Yeah, you have to save often, but I never do it myself. Alright. Right,
Does
so.
Twitch support RSS feeds? Good question, actually. I don't know.
Hmm,
Does anyone use RSS feeds?
a friend of mine uses. He even uses RSS on our webpage, even though there is no more RSS link. I don't know. Anyway, so hello everybody. Welcome to our game dev stream. I'm Felix, aka Luxen, and with me in Skype is Stefan, aka RD.
Hey everyone.
And my smartphone
Finally
is
back.
doing noises because people are retweeting. Anyway, so today we will do mapping again. So I actually updated the Twitch title this time. So we will work on areas in Rhombus Square. We essentially continue the areas we had seen in previous streams. And we will actually start working on some interior area. Oh my gosh, this is so horrible.
Interior.
Interior, yes, interior area, exactly.
Yeah.
And for that, we have to start at least extend a tile set because I mean we have at least some tiles for the interiors, but they're not complete yet. So I will do some pixel art to create those tile sets and also start working on the map. So that's the plan roughly. Okay, but before we do that, yeah, let's just give a shout out again. We have this thing called the Watcher Perk questions, for those who don't know this already. And we didn't get any new questions since the last stream. So just a shout out to everybody if you have any questions to us. And this might be something which really goes into detail. So if you want to know about certain parts of the engine, how we create certain type of content, like, I don't know, maps, effects, scenes, you can just ask this question and we will just look at those questions. We might even spend some time answering those. If it needs to be, we talk about 10 to 15 minutes about it and maybe give some demonstration. And that's essentially when you have the watcher perk, you can do that. All you have to do is visit central dot. I think I can just demonstrate this. Let me just activate the monitor.
Yeah, let me quickly post a link.
Yeah, just go to central CrossCode, log in, and I'm already logged in here. Let me just log out again. So you just log in.
But we can't. But I think we can't see it because you have to switch
I did.
to the. Ah, you did. All right.
Yeah,
It's
it's the
just a
delay
link. All
again.
right.
So and
Yeah.
then you have to click the watcher perk, the watcher menu up there, and you can ask and whatever you like and answer that question. You will even get a list of the questions you already asked, so you can keep track on the answers and all that. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe we should provide a list of all publicly asked questions. Because that might actually be interesting. I just realized that everybody can just see the questions they ask, but the other questions might be interesting as well. Anyway, so we can extend this. So if you have any questions, just ask away. It may make the stream more interesting, I think, because we can actually ask things you're answer, talk about things you're interested in. So
Yeah, especially while you work, maybe Hanno or I can talk about it,
yeah.
answer it while Felix even works on it. Especially if it's just a question we can answer via text and we don't have to show anything
So far,
for it.
we always planned one particular slot for cross-central
Yeah,
questions because they are important and we should spend time and provide decent answers. And then we will do the game development. So, but yeah. Since there are no cross-central questions, we can go right ahead to game development today. That means we might be able to do more stuff. Yeah, and what else? Yeah, I think we will also skip the part where we demonstrate what we have done already because well, it's mostly story, and a lot of the stuff we have done recently is I mean, last stream I started working on the scene, and I'm essentially still on that map, but I just completed the cutscene on that map, which was admittedly pretty
mm,
long, and it introduces two new characters. I won't show this cutscene now, but because it will be released in the
it's
end of the
cool.
month anyway. Yeah, it's very cool. I like it at least. So
And I finally got around to accepting it.
yeah, we had some discussions about some details about that scene,
Yeah.
but I think we might find some solution there. Okay, so let me just go right to the map editor and do some work. And of course, if you have any questions, just you can ask them in the chat too, and we might answer them as always. So let me
Yeah. Since
just
Felix is
quickly.
working, I probably go ahead and answer some things.
What would be cool?
Oh, actually, if Hannah is in chat. So, woo.
Hi, Hanno.
And
There's actually one question. Is your mapping actually random? I don't think so. I mean,
yes, it's completely random. When I map or Hannah maps, we just basically take a tile and put it somewhere. And for some reason, it always ends up looking good.
exactly.
No,
Well,
it's not random. Basically, we have a layout.
mhm.
Usually, I create this one. Maybe you can show it quickly. The one for Bergen Trail. I,
Sure.
I, I made this huge post, this huge picture where every map is
I can
connected.
show this one. Is it in the Dropbox?
No,
Why do you
but
not put
I
stuff in the
can.
Dropbox?
I
Okay.
never put. I'm so sorry. I never put stuff in
Then I can't
Dropbox.
show it.
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay.
Give me a second here.
But yeah, just some example how Bergen Trail looks originally. That was here. We got this sketch here that was prepared by Stefan. So you can see it's just a rough sketch. You can kind of see the different platforms and where you have floor and where you have hill. Like the dark parts are essentially cliffs and the brighter parts are floor. And so we can sketch the areas that way very roughly, and then we start working on the maps. And Stefan prepared a very nice image how you can see how all those maps are connected. So it's not really random; it's actually very planned out and
Yep,
designed
yep.
in a certain way to be interesting, hopefully.
Right, and then we go ahead and implement them, and sometimes they end up looking exactly like that, and sometimes it's we split them up because they get too large, or we end up completely making them differently.
Mm, yeah, this might always
I
happen.
uploaded it. It should be up in Showcase Maps Bergen Trail.
Okay, showcase maps Bergen Trail. Here we go. Okay, so here this is how the whole thing looks in the end. So you can see it's pretty big. You
And also
start down here.
something on the side. Usually when I make these layouts, I always think of the path you would go,
Mm-hmm.
taking in consideration Felix's idea. So I remember you noticing that Bergen Trail had a similar path as the autumn area,
Did I?
and that's the reason why I added this left path. So you actually have two paths, and then these two paths split again. So it's
Mm.
like an 8. If you look at
Yeah,
it, it's
exactly.
like the number 8.
So in total, there are how many ways to go up there? 2 times 2, I think 4.
4 ways, yeah.
Yeah, 4 ways you can go there. Um, or you can just go back and forth, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah.
And up there, you actually see
Uh,
there's also a very nice puzzle that was prepared recently by, I think, Geflügel. This.
yeah, that was Hannah. That was Hannah. Really
Yeah,
nice puzzle
very
at
nice
the
puzzle.
end of the map.
Shortly before
Actually, a
you
good
reach the
idea.
destination, yeah. So you
Also,
see that.
something very important when you make maps, you should always have like highlight maps, just to have something to look at from time to times.
Mm,
So maybe, especially this left waterfall map with the big cliffs and everything, and the
mm,
rightmost map where you jump a lot.
mm. So anyway, we had a couple more questions. So, does Map Editor be available for public, for CC game mods or for custom games using your edition of Game Engine? That's a good question. So right now it's not really decided. I don't think we will have any easy way to create mods for CrossCode. That's not really the focus of the game. It would be more
Mm-hmm.
complicated to do that. We might change our mind if as we go along, but for now the focus really is to create a complete game, and the focus isn't too much on mods. But still, we are actually thinking about creating the engine as a separate product, and we might publish the engine in a way so that you can actually use it and create your own games based on that. Because we actually have a lot of technology. We did a lot of work on creating this engine, and it works rather well. And so it might make sense to just sell it or provide it in a different way. So that we are thinking about doing this. So it's not really decided yet, but yeah, probably we
Yeah.
will.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah. Anyway,
Please be excited.
yes. Please be excited. Yeah, but for now the focus obviously is creating CrossCode, and we have to be careful that we don't spend too much time working on the engine, because quite frankly there are a lot of things that right now I'm really kind of itching again to improve certain things in the engine. But now I can't do it because we had to rework a lot of stuff in CrossCode, and that's not really feasible. But the good thing is, by working on CrossCode, we learn a lot about our engine, and we get a lot of good ideas, very precise ideas, how we can improve the engine. And the goal is, once we
Mm-hmm.
completed CrossCode, we will do these changes in the engine, which will not be compatible with CrossCode, but it will make it so much more easier to create new games with that engine. At least that's the
Yeah.
ideas I have right now. And most of these will actually require WebGL, so I think after CrossCode we will switch to WebGL, and this will make a lot of things actually easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, so much
Do
about.
you plan?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. Sorry,
No,
sorry.
no,
I
no.
thought you were finished.
I was finished, so go ahead.
All right. Do you plan to support Linux? No, we hate Linux. Linux. We hate
Careful there.
everything. No. Actually, yeah, we plan to that. It's not. It's probably not for point 3 version.
Actually, I would say at the very
You want to
least,
do it?
if you are a backer, like, and you got the DRM-free version, I think we can pretty much promise to provide the DRM-free version, because I have a version that runs on Linux and I have it tested for several people. The only problem is I'm not perfectly sure if you can publish it on Steam. There is a
Hmm.
way to do it, but I have no experience, and we might run into short-term technical difficulties if you try to publish it on Steam. That's the only problem here. Otherwise, I think you can expect a Linux version, at least as a DRM-free version. We will also
Right.
try.
There you go, everyone.
I mean, I have a version that runs at least, so I hope it runs on most versions of Linux because there's some trouble with older Ubuntu versions or new Ubuntu versions. I don't know. So it might there's obviously an additional effort for us to do these kind of versions, but it's not quite as high because we use Node WebKit and it actually supports these platforms by default. So we just have to create the right build steps to create those versions.
Hmm.
No, we will not drop HTML5. WebGL, well, WebGL is strictly speaking not HTML5, but it pretty much belongs to it, I think. It's a web technology, so everything else will stay at HTML5. So no, we will not drop HTML5, never. Some people expect me to do that, it won't happen. I don't think so.
Nope, never ever. Why
Uh,
should we?
for this for all honors or to include it? Yeah, why is the map editor running in my browser? That's because everything about our engine is made in HTML5. So it makes sense to create the web editor also based on HTML5, so it runs in the web browser. And most of our editors run in the web browser. Actually, all of our editors run in the web browser.
Yep, that's a good thing.
And the reason we
because
don't do it in an external program is because it's so much more easier in HTML5. Seriously, I've
Yep.
worked with Swing, and I don't know. There might be better frameworks for creating desktop interface programs, but I still think HTML5 is one of the most productive environments to create these kind of interfaces. Which is probably because I'm very used to working with this technology, but that's the reason we do it in the web. So I think it's very easy to work with it. And you will see it's actually very powerful, and we put a lot of effort in it, and we are in a very advanced state right now. Okay, so let me just continue now. I will now start working. So this
Finally.
is the map I created last time. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is create a save slot so I can start this map without the cutscene. Oh man, I don't. Should I show the cutscene now because I'm gonna play it now anyway? I'm just gonna skip it. Sorry, guys. But since the frame rate is horrible because I'm streaming, you might actually still see what's happening very roughly. So that's kind of like very, very evil teasing I'm doing right now. Oh my gosh, what's
So
going
don't
on?
look, everyone.
It's very
Don't look.
weird. So okay, now I just created a state where I'm walking around on the map here and just create a new save. So again, disclaimer, this is now a very bad frame rate, which is because I'm doing my screen, recording my screen, not the program, and that's why it's very slow. I'm too lazy to switch to the desktop application. Okay, so now I got that.
Um. Yeah. Can I answer a question in the
Sure,
chat?
sure,
Or do
go
you
ahead.
want to? Yeah.
Go ahead, yeah. I'm just doing stuff
It's
now.
related to the editors again, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe it was a follow-up question. Also, was the default editor for the actual engine this game is based on? Uh, I get it. We used the Impact.js editor as a base, but rewrote it as much as the whole code. So most of this was done by Felix.
Mm-hmm.
He basically made it so that we can very, very quickly create new editors. And everything is very flexible and so on. So we used it as a base, but Felix rewrote everything. And
Like most
now
things,
it's our
really.
own.
It's
Yeah,
based it's
now
based
it's
on
our own editor.
Impact.js, and Impact actually it does a lot of things nicely. I mean, it runs in a web browser. We still roughly use the same files for saving and loading files, like the server-side stuff, even though that was modified too a bit. But in the end, we created a small system to, no, actually a rather advanced system to make it more easy to create new editors. But it's a little bit work to explain this, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, but it's really, really cool. Like These new database editors we use, usually they are getting created in 1 day, if not less.
Yeah.
The enemy name editor was done in like 20 minutes,
Yeah.
but it only has one text field, so.
So it's just to describe it very roughly, the idea is that you try to find components that can be reused very effectively. So it's not like you recreate an editor from scratch, but you find certain you create template editors that can be reused in all kind of situations. And as you go along, and whenever you find something new that you need, you instead of just doing it for that particular type, you just create a very generic editor, and then you can reuse that editor for future cases. And we just continue doing so, and now we have a very exhaustive collection of generic editors that we can reuse for all kind of data types, and that makes it very easy to create new editors for all kind of things. That's roughly
Mhm.
the idea. But
And
yeah,
I love creating editors.
yes, you do. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, sometimes I also feel like just creating a new editor and not actually doing work on the game.
Oh, interesting question here.
Yes.
Have you worked on any other big games?
Well, we worked. I mean, we come from the RPG Maker community, and so we had rather big RPG Maker projects if you count those. I've been working on a game called Ball, which was fairly pretty large in scope, I think, and but we don't really have, at least I don't have a lot of professional experience on large projects. So this is pretty much our first really large scale project, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't. I had a big project too, but I wasn't in the hype. I didn't got on the screen fund, so.
The screen farm wasn't even the big thing really, I think.
I found you through screen fund.
Okay.
At least, nah. Well, I knew they had epic RPG Maker games
Yeah, and in case you're
at the
wondering,
time.
just in case you're wondering, I'm currently working with very messed up tiles. I'm actually I created those tiles um, for these lines that we use for these kind of transporters that fly through the air, and they're messed up. It's really complicated to work with those. Fortunately, we won't use them very often, so that's why I thought, never mind, just make it work somehow. It doesn't have to be very easy to use or optimized. So what I'm doing right now is actually we had these kind of rails. I mean, we call them sky rails. At least that's the current name. Might change, but the idea is that you can just take some kind of sci-fi futuristic rails, start from this platform right over there, and exit the map to another part. And before there was just one single line leaving the map, and I thought, now if people are going in two ways, because some people might go back to this area, there's most likely going to be some crash. And I thought there should be at least two directions where people are leaving, because like one going this way, one the other way, like streets. And that's why I'm changing right now. I'm actually doing two tracks for the sky rail, and it's just a small detail, but I already did it in another map, and I know it works. I just have to do it for this map as well.
Them details again.
Yeah, details. They take time, but they're important to some extent. Look, it's done almost. Just have to. And what I'm actually doing right now is just programming the way you can take those sky rails to exit the map. Let me actually show you. I did create a save slot, didn't I? Here you go. Oh yeah, and also ignore that Emily character that's currently following you. She won't be following you in the actual game. That was more or less just a test, I think. I think we'll just go to some spot and wait for you to leave the map or something. So
Maybe
here,
she follows you, and you see the same animation again.
Yeah, something like this. Yeah, actually, I could do that. Though that might be a lot of work because I had to do it for 5 different spots.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, so you see, I can just take this thing and leave the map that way. So, and I want to implement this now using the new trails here, so you actually leave on the right side. So you're taking the right lane because we are from Germany, we drive on the right lane. Okay. And also, I don't want to use the move
Um,
point, but instead the interpolator point because it's more precise. I actually noticed that moving to this point with high velocity results in that you're actually not staying precisely on track, but you're actually derating from the actual track. Anyway, so you want to say something? I'm done.
I just wanted to answer a question.
Hmm.
Um, did you guys ever publish Leia holding the JavaScript sign picture? No, we didn't.
No, we did this
We will
exclusive.
never do it, but we can show it every time.
Yeah, so if you want to see it right now, it will always be on stream. Give me a second.
Yeah, maybe it was on Twitter once.
Might have been, I'm not sure. Here, you see it. Here, layer. So that's just what we usually
Um,
people show, like, what's your game written in? What engine do you use? And we just say it's all JavaScript, and we show this picture. Because for a lot of people, working with JavaScript is a nightmare. Which I quite frankly, I don't understand it because I love working with JavaScript. But well, I mean, some people just hate these kind of dynamic languages where you can do a lot of things wrong.
That's true. Yeah, sure. No, we always had a conversation history since the day we added side messages. Will the game offer full controller support? It already has. Ah, someone already answered.
Yep.
Dang it. Yes. As soon as I got wind of HTML5 having gamepad support, I knew we had to implement it.
Oh
We
yeah.
just had to.
I think I'm probably was kind of skeptic towards gamepad
Yeah,
control.
you were skeptic.
Because
You're
I'm
like, I
always
don't know if
skeptic
we
at the
need that.
beginning. Like, I'm not sure
I
we
don't know
need
if
that.
we need that.
I don't, what was it? I don't think we need web audio support.
I don't know. I don't think we need web audio. No.
Yeah, that's
It's
kind
like
of
the time when I added the screenshot thingy and you're like, we don't need that. And now you're the
Exactly.
one who uses it the most.
Yeah, more or less, yes. Yeah, that's I'm tend to be kind of short-sighted with these kind of things. Ah, god damn it! I'm missing the tile here. I hate it.
Are all of you guys from Saarbrücken? No, just Felix.
That's
He's
just
the
me.
only one.
Yeah.
The only one.
We
I'm
actually.
from Berlin now. Henne is from where's Henne?
Bückeburg.
Oh. Jesus. Jesus, Henne.
That name.
That name though.
It's so expressive. I know. Yeah. Okay, this is better, I think.
Reassigning buttons for controllers. Man, people really want that.
Oh gosh.
I'm still skeptical, but we'll see. Probably end up implementing it.
It's a bit. Yeah, no, it's a bit work to do this, I think.
It's a bit work because there already is a mapping, so we had to do a mapping on a mapping on a mapping.
Yeah.
A mapping on a mapping. Because usually you get the input data from the controller and we map them on our own enums, so we can always use the same access variables to use all controllers. So the game also works with the HTML5 game with an VU gamepad, and so it would be a little bit complex to do that. I also think we need to rewrite a lot of code, but right now everything goes through the control class, right? Because of the auto control thingy.
Yeah, pretty much everything. But still, I think we need another wrapper around the gamepad to actually
Probably. Yeah.
so you can change the mapping. Though I don't think what people probably mostly want is to be able to. The thing is, a lot of mappings on a gamepad simply don't make sense. So I don't really think you need arbitrary mappings. Like it simply doesn't make sense to make throwing on one of the four buttons on the left side, like A, B, X, Y, because you simply can't press those buttons when holding the right stick. It's not possible. And you need to press those buttons while holding the right stick. So it must be one of the shoulder buttons. But I think a lot of people might want to switch the right trigger and the right bumper, like those two buttons.
Yeah, maybe we can add this like switch those, and also I think what people really want is a face button for close combat.
Yeah, and I think we want to implement this anyway. So just as an
Yeah,
additional
that's
button. So just pressing the face button, you just can do the close combat as well. You can still do it the old way, but it's just another way.
mm,
I think that's no problem really.
shit.
Whoa,
Dang it.
what happened?
That was my pencil for
Whoops.
the graphics tablet.
Okay. Okay, so I changed that.
Hopefully, no controller versus mouse and keyboard war breaks out right now.
What?
Don't worry, guys. We support both. Don't fight over it. And I love to play with my joystick. Oh boy.
Hmm.
I will just go.
Yeah, I can understand that a lot of people would prefer to have shooting on the right trigger instead the bumper, because the trigger is kind of hard to press and the bumper might be actually easier to press. And since you press your key, you tend to throw much more often than you do the special. I understand that people might want to switch it, so I don't think it's a big deal to just implement an option that you can switch the right and the left bumper and trigger
Nah, that should work.
separately. Yeah, I think. So let's see.
That's actually a nice question. We thought about that. So
Okay, that
you all
seems to
know
work.
about the quick menu, right?
Hmm.
And the quick menu has three options right now. Those are items, map, and analyze.
Oh yeah.
And we actually thought about adding a fourth option. And this option is something you can set on your own. So usually when you have your gameplay, at some point you end up always going to one menu point, be it items, synopsis, quests, or whatever, right? And we thought, hey, actually, couldn't we just add a fourth quick menu access button, and you just set it your own, so you can point it to a menu or a submenu, because for us it's all a menu.
Hmm.
You can just show any menu right away. So yeah, what do you guys think about that?
I like the idea really.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's definitely something, a bit of polishing side.
Yeah.
So it's probably not something would work right
It's much
away.
better than doing some small graphical polishing. It's actually something
Yeah.
that's very useful gameplay wise. So I like the idea. Wait, where is it?
And I already added code,
Okay.
so it might
Mhm.
work. Or it will work.
Hmm. It's actually already implemented.
Yeah,
Almost.
actually, yeah, because we needed a new control scheme, right? And you press up, left, or right. Now you can just use the left stick or right stick in the quick menu to navigate around the points. You don't have to use the face buttons anymore or have some weird controllings. It's just holding in the direction. The same goes for the circuit menu.
Hmm. So yeah, if you didn't notice, I'm doing very redundant work right now. I'm just implementing the movement path for each of those teleporters, and it's not very exciting. It's just I have to do it right for each of those teleporters, and there are 5 of them. I kind of regret that I actually did 5 because it's maybe a few too many. Like 3 would have been enough, really, but never mind. No, I did the 5. just each of those has a different path, so I have to do this by hand. There's
All right.
no
I
clever
got the
system
first
here.
version of Bergen ready.
Oh, that was quick. You want me
Well,
to
it's
show
just a
it
quick.
now or later?
No, later.
Okay,
Now I can focus on the stream a bit more.
that would be cool. Yeah.
Isn't it possible to just implement the option to change the inputs of the controller? I don't know how this. Yeah, it's possible.
It's possible,
but
yeah.
it's not just implement. It's really a bit of work.
Like you have to implement the interface to actually change the buttons, which is kind of
Yep.
advanced if you can do arbitrary mappings. And again,
Especially concerning the sticks, if you
yeah, I'm not really sure
take
you
the
really
sticks
they should
in the
be able
mix.
to remap the sticks because you cannot replace a stick with something else. I can
Yeah.
accept replacing the buttons, but it's like the same. You cannot replace the mouse because it's just the mouse movement. You cannot map the mouse movement to anything else which is meaningful. The same for clicking and right clicking, left and right clicking. They're pretty much fixed. And the same for the sticks. And I think in the gamepad in general, there are not a lot of mappings that make sense. So I actually think what would make more sense is just to have some very specific options, and then maybe you can iterate between those options. Like you have one option for the right bumper, for the right trigger and bumper, another option for the left trigger and bumper, maybe a couple of options for the face buttons. And then you can just change those options as you would like them. That's what I think makes sense. But if you do arbitrary mappings,
I still think that lots of games, AAA games, don't have this option. The only game I can think of right now is Devil May Cry 4, which had the option to remap every controller button, but they only had Xbox controller, so they probably had an easier time. But I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah.
Are caves coming in the next update? No, sadly not. I don't know. Maybe we
Depends
can make.
if we can. We probably could push it. The thing I'm just.
I could make one actually. There is one entrance in Bergen Trail already done. It's a bit hacked, but yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Never mind. Okay.
I don't think Felix said that only this mapping makes sense because the Xbox pads exist. It's because that's the only thing HTML5 supports, which is X input. So every controller that supports X input is the only thing we can support.
Yeah.
Right now.
And you won't be able to play CrossCode with a gamepad that doesn't have 2 analog sticks, the 4 face buttons, and the 4 shoulder buttons. It's simple like this. I mean, we could try to do that, but that's a huge effort, and I don't really think a lot of controllers exist and are used these days that cannot be mapped on that system, on this layout. Even the Steam controller supports this, I think. So I'm actually kind of glad this kind of standard evolved. Like there are these kind of buttons, and like almost every game uses those. It's really, you have a hard time designing games around a lot of different input devices.
Yeah, definitely agree. So we'll see if we really find some time. I think that's one thing I would consider polishing, because lots of games doesn't do it because they want you to have these controls there. We thought about these controls. We also thought like, can we use the face buttons? And we quickly thought, all right, that doesn't work because you need to aim with the right stick. If you would aim with the face buttons or the D-pad, you could only aim in 8 directions, making it very hard to aim and walk around with the gamepad. You would also probably what you would do is you need to walk around with the left stick, aim with the face buttons, and then you still need a button to fire which can only be one of the right shoulder buttons.
Yeah.
Or, let me lie, the right stick button. But I don't think that
Oh
would work.
gosh, yeah, you can use the right stick button, I guess, but I don't think it's a very good, well responsive button for repeated actions.
Yeah.
It's actually
When
horrible.
is the release of the game? 2400. Just like free. One other thing is to consider that disabled people. That's a problem. Our game has a very complex control. If you think about it, there's a lot of things you can do. So to make it be able to use for disabled people, you might have to rethink how the gameplay works too. It's the same when you think about the mobile version of a game.
Yes, so I mean, what kind of disabled people, I mean, what kind of disabilities do you have that you might need to consider that can still play the game but not with that particular control scheme? I just wonder.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we don't see everything, but
I don't know.
just to be sure, we think about controls a lot. And which control button should do what. Are there any non-German people here in this
No,
chat?
aiming with the movement stick doesn't make sense, I think.
With the movement stick?
Yeah, aiming with the movement
With the
stick.
left stick?
Yeah, you might
Then
want to.
how would you move, right? That's the
Yeah,
question.
CrossCode is a lot
How
about
would you
moving
change?
and
I
aiming.
think many people forget that you need to be able to change elements too. So you need buttons for that too.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, you could say, all right, let's make just one button for changing elements, and you have a
Oh my gosh.
definite order in which you have to switch through them.
Mm.
But that would come in like reducing the gameplay options. So you would also have to push the button if you want to go to a certain element and so on. We wanted to be able to for people to quickly change to an element from another, from one and even back to neutral with just one button press.
Mm.
So I think just that CrossCode is a complex game, and that it doesn't allow for much room for disabled people, which is sad, of course. But for that, we would have to completely rewrite the gameplay, make it more streamlined, more
Yeah,
easier.
would make the game. We have to create a different game, really. It's.
Yeah, it would be a different game. It would be more on rails, and that's not what we wanted
Yeah.
with the game. That's what CrossCode is about, right? It's not about these on rail actions, but you decide what you do.
Mm-hmm. And does it work? Yes. Okay, this works. And back again. And force again. Now I'm just checking all the different connections with the Sky Rails. Talking about Rails. I'm actually implementing Rails here. But they're just for transportation from one map to the other. Like not the whole game is on Rails. So
No problem, Draco. I don't know what Dexter reference we just had, but it was probably an awesome one.
okay. I guess it's cool. Okay, seems everything's working. Yay. Okay, so that was pretty boring, but it was necessary to be done. Just now created those teleportation panels, and those are actually still lacking sound effects. So once Teflo implements the sound effects, I have to add those again.
And maybe Leah should also look into the not down, but to the left and to the right. Or do you? Is it just the lag
Oh,
from the
you mean
stream?
when you arrive at the? You're
Yeah.
right, actually. Yes, actually, I wanted to do that. I forgot about this. Whoops. It's not
All
a big
right.
deal.
Cool.
Zip-a-dip. see if that works.
Yeah, Keanu, but it's always important to like think about the option how we might be able to help disabled people to play CrossCode.
Yeah.
We can at least think about it.
Of course, I mean there might be some ways we can help it, but you have to just have to understand the different cases, and then you can decide if it makes sense to support this or not. Like we cannot make this game work for blind people, obviously, or something like this.
Yeah. That's certainly true, yeah.
But there might be some other disabilities where you
Or
might be
maybe
able to change to help it. Yeah.
that would be actually an interesting concept. A game specifically made for blind people with specific audio cues. And now I'm thinking of an action game that has a lot of audio cues, but if you're good at it, even if you're blind, you can play it well.
Well,
That would be actually a nice concept.
that would
Has
be
anyone
interesting.
done that? Maybe we have an idea for something new.
Yeah. That's very
For first time,
experimental, yeah.
very experimental. Yeah.
All right, so I did the connection. I just have to implement this one. Did I?
Color blindness is another issue. Colorblind, we might help color blindness, but we don't use any shader technology, so we're not able to change the colors in real time.
Yeah.
We had to manually rewrite every graphic reload.
Well, you can help color blindness by just making sure that things are not just different based on color, but also on contrast. Well, at least.
Yeah, that's true. I actually know someone who's colorblind, and
Oh snap!
he always says that it's more the contrast that's important.
Holy snap!
If there's enough contrast, and it's not just really green next to red, something like red green, right? Green red weakness, then it's okay if the contrast is there. You might don't see the color, but you get the shape of the object.
I'm just really confused right now because I have the commando in there that the player looks in the right direction, but sometimes the player still doesn't look in the right direction. I am really confused why this is happening.
Because rotate is true.
Yeah, but that should still make sure that you always look in the right direction. I don't know.
Please,
weird.
no auto aim helper, no auto aim. We don't make Final Fantasy 13 4. You don't just press a button and move forward. Although the third installment was a bit more than just pressing a button. I actually like that game, so.
Yeah, I mean, I actually read one interesting article about how you can. It's not perfect auto aim, but just very slight auto aim. Like when you roughly aim precisely, it still goes in the right direction or something like this. But still, I'm not sure. I mean, the game actually plays pretty well even without auto aim, I think. If you have some practice.
Oh, dang it, a game for blind people was already done.
Of course.
And it was an indie game, because AAA don't give a shit. Well,
Yeah.
they're mostly businesses, so they look for profit.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad, but it's the truth. That's the good thing about indie. They're not in this big business machinery where they just have to say, all right, we need to make money, so we need to push a big game.
Yep, yep. Oh gosh, I actually... but it's weird. I actually have... I think I know why it happens. It's just weird. Just want to test and see if I can reproduce that problem sometimes, but no, it doesn't happen.
Sorry, Radius, I get your point. That it might change how you affect how the game is played, but I think this petition was meant for games that don't play that complex. Like, I can imagine that for games like Life is Strange, where the input is very simple. You walk around and next to objects you press a button. If it's no problem to add some customizable input there.
Oh, I was just ignored. Go
Huh?
ahead. Sorry, nothing. I was just talking to myself.
All right. Um,
No, I separated your train of thought or something.
yeah.
Sorry.
As I said, it's a bit of work, and we thought about the controls, and we might make the switchable bumpers or something in that way. It's something we can easily add later on because everything right now is going through one interface, and that makes it easy for us to change stuff later. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm lying. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Your map editor looks amazing. Was it completely home rolled? Basically, yeah.
More or less, yeah. It's based on the
Yeah.
original Waitmeister editor from Impact.js, but we did a lot of work on it to improve details, and yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with it. I very like the way we did event scripting. That works very well. And the only thing I still think is problematic is that we still use tile-based, a lot of tiles for creating maps which are essentially 3D. So there's a lot of work in doing this right. Like you have a lot of layers and you have to be careful about collision, and that's really troublesome. And I think there are ways we can very effectively improve that, but that
Mm-hmm.
would be a lot of work, and unfortunately we cannot afford to do this um, without delaying the release of CrossCode quite a bit. And it's hard to say, because when you actually do those changes, you might be able to create maps much faster, but then you probably need to convert old maps, and just creating the whole thing will probably take a couple of months, and you can create a lot of maps in a couple of months. And so it's really hard to say, and I think we actually reached a point where we cannot really afford to do a lot of changes in the engine.
Especially such big changes.
Yeah.
Also, something I just remembered concerning the gamepad issue. In the end, you can always use an input director, right? Like X input, something like that, where you actually can set the buttons yourself.
That's true, I guess, yeah.
That's true. If you really have to rebind them. But of course, it's nice if the game has it natively.
Sure. Yeah, I'm creating these cool little patterns on the floor again. They actually take a lot of time, but they also make the map much more interesting.
Yeah. You can't bind mouse keys in the options menu. Can this be fixed, or is this an intended behavior? Right now it's an intended behavior. Not sure if we can make... Actually, we should be able to make those switchable. Although I'm not quite sure what the change would be, because would you would like to fire with the right mouse button? I can see that for left-handed people, maybe, right? That's something
Yeah,
we can easily support, switch around these two.
it's again something I would rather do with a fixed option instead of just being able to bind mouse buttons to arbitrary other things.
Yeah.
Like it makes totally makes sense for me that it can rebind every keyboard key, because keyboards are by nature, they might be structured differently, and you might need to actually rebind things, because I don't know, like the Z and the Y key are just swapped in English and German keyboards, and it's even worse for different keyboards. I just once sat on a French keyboard. It was horrible. I don't even know what was going on, and so for those kind of people, I think it's important that you can rebind keyboard keys. But a mouse is pretty much fixed, so I don't know. You put a lot of thought into controls, and you might want to just optimize the game for certain controls.
Yeah, for keyboards, it's always important, just as Lesser says, because there are different types of keyboards.
Yeah, exactly.
So in Germany, we have the Quartz keyboard.
That's what I was just talking about, really.
Oh, sorry. I listened to you, but I didn't catch that. What the
Okay,
hell?
maybe I just wasn't talking very clearly. It's just, yeah, there's different keyboard standards and different button layouts, and that's what I
Yeah.
meant. Like
I thought you were talking about something else. All right.
it's just that the French layout is very different from the English and German one. That's what I noticed. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I can imagine that for Japanese people, it's extremely
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
We don't even have graphics for them. We don't even have graphics for a lot of special characters.
But I think they still got like alphabet buttons, Japanese keyboards, I think. At least they got a mode for the regular alphabet, I think.
Right, yeah. You're right.
But actually not perfectly sure. I think there might be different type of keyboards.
Oh, that's actually a good idea right there,
Hmm?
Jürnstein. Extra mouse button support for the elemental rotation. We can support mouse button 3 and 4 for that.
Oh, okay. There was
At
also an
least
idea.
for...
Yeah.
Yeah,
There,
go ahead.
there was also an idea to actually use the mouse wheel for element change. That's
Ah,
still.
right, yeah, I forgot about that. That we wanted to add this as an option, right?
Yeah, as an option, right?
Yeah, I remember.
So maybe this will happen, but yeah, sometime. Not sure it will happen right now. For the other three, probably not. Yoopie doop. So actually, not doing a lot of interesting work here, but it's really work that has to be done. It's just mapping. That's where you spend a lot of time with, just doing all the detail work here. The bread and butter work, you could say. Forgive me, so just creating bare content.
Yep, that's the downside of areas that are not like outdoor areas. We can't use height mapping for that.
Yeah. Yeah, actually,
That would actually be a nice idea, right?
that's actually the whole point I was thinking about. If you really want to improve the whole mapping process, you should always start with a height map or something similar. So I think I was thinking about you should instead, I would just remove layers in total. Like there shouldn't be any more layers. Instead, there is a height map. And
Yeah.
then you define the height first, and then you put stuff on top of that height map. Like you can define what kind of tiles you're gonna use to create the appearance of the height map,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can place entities which are not really entities, they're just graphics put on top of the height map. And then there's tools where you can just track areas in the height map, and everything put on top of the height map will be tracked with the height map. It's like right now, whenever we want to modify things, it's a nightmare because you have to change tiles for a lot of different layers, and then you have to move the entities, and everything is separated. That makes it really hard to actually modify a completed map. it's a lot of work to do that, and it makes it really hard to optimize your maps. And that's actually kind of troublesome. So if you really want to improve the system or really make sure that you can easily create content and modify that content, I think that's very important actually.
I think it would also look cool in an editor. Like I imagine like a 3D, basically a cube, right? And you rotate it, yeah, and you can rotate it to see how it looks from the side, or right?
Yeah, actually you could do
Because
that.
if you
Yeah.
use WebGL, you can actually do that.
Yeah, though really it depends on what kind of render. Like I would really do a lot of tricks still. So like the first version still would look like CrossCode. It's just using 3D internally to make the rendering easier and more stable. Like you don't get all these
Hmm.
small rendering glitches. And but it would still look pretty much 2D, and that means you can do a lot of tricks to save rendering time. So you don't have to render the side of the cube, just the front. That's all you need, the front and the top. So you only have two sides. And then if you want to implement this rotation view, you still need to render the side to show something meaningful. But you can always do that, at least in the editor, I think.
Yeah.
And it will make
It
it
would.
easier to.
You had like this little the view like in Zelda.
Okay, where everything is tilted, strangely.
Yeah. I imagine. I always wonder why they didn't tilt the characters. It's probably no. I can think of it. Why didn't they just tilt the characters?
Um,
Maybe it was easier to tilt the whole environment.
I don't. It's kind of hard to say.
Because you had to tilt every character, and the environment was one big
I think
thing,
they
and they
actually
just
did. I
tilt.
think they did tilt Link as well. I think they did
It did?
tilt. I think they did because if you compare in a Link Between Worlds, you compare the Link sprite with some of the enemy sprites, you will notice that the enemies are really, you can really see they are seen from top, but the Link is seen rather from the side, like in comparison.
Right. I
So
think all NPCs are visible from the side, a bit from the side,
maybe
right?
it's just like at least I noticed that the normal enemies they really look like they're more visible from the top than from the side.
Yeah, I just have a screenshot. Some enemies you also see like Link a little bit
Okay.
from the front.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yep. But for some enemies, you only see them from the top.
But the point is
So,
they really had to tilt. They really had to tilt the environment because I think it was important that you see the ground really perfectly parallel to the viewing plane. Because otherwise you have this kind of things get smaller when you go upwards, and they wanted to avoid this. I think that was the whole point. So you had to have the ground planes that need to be parallel to the viewing plane. But if that is in the normal environment, it always means that the walls are orthogonal to your viewing plane. Then you don't see any walls, or you don't see very little from the wall. So the only solution was really to tilt those walls backwards. And then you see more from the wall. It was more like the original perspective of the game. I think that's really the only
actually, see,
solution you can.
they didn't only tilt the environment, but they tilt the characters too.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting.
Yeah. And actually, I really like the idea. I mean, actually, that's something I was thinking about too. Like, if we extend our engine, there should be this base structure that you use to create maps. Like everything is cube and these kind of diagonals. But then you can
Mm.
choose different ways to display that. So there's like the way from CrossCode, and then there might be a 3D view or something else. So you can do more different things with it. So that's what I would
That
like
would
to do.
be. We should do that. Let's do that. Then we
Yeah.
sell this and become millionaires and
Then we can
leave
create.
everyone and live in Hawaii.
Yeah. That's totally why I'm doing game development and stuff. So. Uh,
I always love people like some people really love playing with keyboard. Some people really love playing with gamepad.
mhm.
It's always good to see.
Yeah,
that the work paid off.
I just love the fact that some speedrunning records are made with the mouse controls and some other with keyboard with gamepad controls. That means that at least both controls should work at least to some extent. What time is it? Oh, it's just 1 hour. Okay, there's still time, I guess.
Mhm.
Are there any more questions? Anything interesting going
Right
on?
now, people are discussing what input is better and what language is better. I don't know.
What language? Like programming language?
Hmm?
Programming language?
No, just the native tongues,
Oh gosh.
like English. I don't know. Maybe it's just keyboard. I'm a little bit lost.
Me, which
French
keyboard?
is hard, yo.
I just
You
know
ever
that
try to learn German as a foreigner?
the
That's
German keyboard layout is horrible for programming. Like the
It
English one
really is.
is
It
much
really
better.
is. The next Alienware I buy definitely has an English keyboard.
Oh
I
yeah.
already checked. They have the option. They finally
Okay.
have the option.
That's cool. But
Yeah.
be prepared because at the beginning it will take a long time until you actually get used to it. I mean, like the first few weeks or even months you will be slower with that, but once you get used to it, you
Yeah,
will
but
become
but
faster.
yeah, but imagine how fast I will be. I'm already fast
Yeah, right.
when coding. And if I have the option to just press one button to get my brackets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
Just think about the
I
potentials.
think that the biggest problem for me will be the fact that I have to think differently when I enter my passwords.
Oh gosh, yeah. Actually, I really can enter my password in German and English keyboards. So actually, I got used to that.
Because there's so many symbols, right? And symbols are different. Especially if you probably work with a German keyboard and an English keyboard.
Mostly English,
And
but sometimes I'm still on the German one. Yeah.
so so the brain gets confused all the time.
Yeah. No, actually, we should focus on one, Ben. But you can create custom keyboard layouts in Windows to still type the German special characters like A umlaut and S umlaut and scharfes
Yeah,
S.
I would just type in H, A, and E
Yeah,
probably.
I created a custom layout that you can just hold the Alt button and press A to get A umlaut or something like this.
Oh.
And that works surprisingly well. You get used to this very quickly. And as soon as you have this, you can perfectly type German sentences, and you still have the English keyboard layout for programming.
Yeah.
The only downside is that sometimes certain web applications think they have to create shortcuts on Alt A or Alt Shift A, which you cannot disable, and then you're screwed. That unfortunately happens, and but yeah, otherwise it works great. I always hated when programs do shortcuts that you cannot disable. That really. But if I think about it, we also don't disable certain shortcuts in our level editor.
Yep.
Actually, no, you cannot disable any of the shortcuts.
None of them.
It's work,
They're all enabled.
and programmers are inherently lazy.
Yeah. That's our special power. We are inherently lazy. Lazy but efficient.
Yeah, like a programmer needs to be lazy to some extent to be good, because otherwise you're too prone to do redundant work and you're creating
Business
systems.
software.
Oh gosh, yeah. Systems which are inherently difficult to maintain. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Like the whole point,
You're creating high
the whole,
business software for
the whole,
businesses that
you
create businesses.
the funny thing about business software is they try to avoid redundancy, but sometimes they just fail to do that. So
They create more
instead they're
redundancy.
adding more redundancy, or like complex systems which barely don't remove any redundancy. That's a
Like a
risk.
string integer comparator. Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
I love comparators like, hey, we can just use equals, but that would be too easy.
Let's create a wrapper.
Let's create a wrapper for our comparison.
Oh gosh.
I love it.
Yeah. Are there
Actually, one day I want to have a field day in a big business like SAP, SAT. I don't know how it's called. I just watch them code away.
watch
I
them
just want
go?
to see what kind of business code they really do. High class business code.
I know.
Especially, I want to go somewhere where they work on Java enterprise software. Because that must be the most redundant work you can do. Java is already verbose, right? And you adding more verbosity.
Kind of like this, yeah.
Because you need to make it scalable and everything. SAP. It was SAP, right?
Yeah. So,
Looks good.
I did a lot of details. God damn it, I'm not really sure. At least I'm making progress. That's what I can say. I'm doing something. Probably should start working on the interior maps eventually. Um, I think I will do this next, so it will be a bit more interesting. But then I have to switch to Photoshop and start creating some tilesets. Hmm?
Felix, check out the picture Nubis just posted. That should be one of
Oh,
the
what? Is Leia just
unlockables.
throwing bread or something? What
Throwing a
is
baguette.
a baguette? Oh my gosh.
I see. We need to add a side quest with
Like
Emily.
at last stream, she was actually throwing Doritos. Somebody already did this, was throwing Doritos, and like at the first I thought, hey, that's a triplater. She's throwing triangles, but it turned out it was Doritos. That was really cool. Mm. Almost got it. So I think that's enough. I mean, there's still more stuff I'm gonna place here, like small plants. Actually, let me just place a few of those plants so you can see how we place props, in case you didn't see this yet.
Something I really love about our editor. What you see is kind of what you get.
Yep.
Actually, it's what you get, pretty much.
Well, except for stuff like lightning and I don't know,
Yeah.
like the.
But actually, someone in the forum, I think it was Vegeta,
Mm-hmm.
made an awesome post in the hacking thread. He basically read the JSON file, which is not obfuscated, because why should we?
Mm.
And made it into a readable format for the tiled map editor.
Yeah, exactly.
And then made his own map and made a height map, a collision map, and
Yeah,
it's actually pretty cool.
that's pretty
Let me
amazing. So if people continue
me
doing
link
this,
it.
you might have the possibility to create mods.
Yeah, go ahead and try to make a CrossCode map with tiled. It's probably a lot of work because you don't
Yeah.
have the height map generation.
Yeah, in general, it's like you don't get the right visualization, I think, and it's complicated probably.
Yep. Especially since The collision is hard to map, I think, because
Meanwhile, in a parallel universe. What? Oh my gosh. Why is Alea? She has pink hair. Why? Why has she pink hair? Oh,
well,
it's
probably
just
GIF
maybe it's
compression.
just a GIF compression. Yeah, but that's funny. So somebody just got into our testing maps. Great.
Go ahead, people. Have your way.
I think there's some horrible spoilers in the testing maps. Shit. Okay.
Or maybe it's just reusing your GIF. Sorry. Right. Sorry. It's GIF. I know. What you see is what you get, except not, but kind of, sort of, maybe. It's the fall that counts, okay? That's basically what you get, right? Why your character are so cool? Because we can only make cool characters. We can only make characters that are cool. Or ridiculous characters like Jörg.
Yes.
Spoilers, the huge guy is called Jörg.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You just said it. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. We have a character named Jörg. I like to say Jörg.
Mm-hmm.
If you guess his birth country, you get nothing, but you can guess it.
If you want to.
I mean, you're already here. What you want more? Also, creating characters is always like a combined work, combined efforts
Yeah.
of awesomeness.
I know. It's
And we
like
don't try to
quite
think of
frankly,
weird name.
quite frankly, I can talk about a lot of stuff I'm doing, but I cannot really explain how I do my character. That's about one of the things I really have problems explaining because it's a lot about intuition and at least when I write
When
characters.
we talk about it, it's always like, all right, now this character kind of gets a shape, right? And
Yeah,
kind of gets
but I mean,
gets into it, and you feel
hmm
into the character, and you.
yeah, but even if you write down the character, in character, it's a lot about how you present it in detail. I think it's if you know what say, okay, we have this character definition, and somebody else would write the character like three people would write based on this definition. I think you get like three different characters because it's a lot about how you write in details and how things work in detail. Even if now if Hannah goes ahead and writes dialogues with our characters, it kind of feels different to me, and that's why I sometimes have to change things. For instance, it's like just people tend to make things more talkative or less talkative and use different kind of words. Like it's really, really hard to perfectly simulate a certain style of writing. Like you probably noticed when I wrote a character or when somebody else wrote a character. You have to be very good to avoid this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
that's why it's really hard for me to explain how to design characters or something like this.
Although I have to say, I'm very good at mimicking your style,
Yeah, kinda,
especially
kinda.
in in the color. Um,
Yeah, Carla is a character I think you're good at writing because she uses kind of slang style of speak that you like to use anyway.
yeah, that's true. Son, yo, true that, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope I can put some thought into a very important quest character too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the hardest character for me are probably
Yeah.
Sergey. But it's more that's more
What the fridge
character.
somebody created? There's an emoji version of 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 Menlayer. That's great. One thing I always can say about characters is that what I personally really hate is characters that are, I don't know, how should I say? I hate comic relief characters that are just kind of one dimension, that you always are ridiculing, that you always make fun of them. They don't have any
Mm.
serious side to them, and there's nothing redeeming about them or something like this. That's what I really hate, and that's something I just avoid in general. So even though,
Y- y- Go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, so even if you have some characters that might be kind of clumsy or having some negative side to them, I always try to highlight some positive side, because it's what I think what's really important about designing characters, that you really need to try to have the right perspective. Like, you need to design a character and you need to place yourself in that character. Like, when you have an antagonist, this antagonist should have a motivation, and you should really think about why would this character behave in this kind of situation. And if your character is doing a lot of stupid things, you should think about, why does this character not realize he or she is doing stupid things. And that's actually something I really criticize about certain characters in Attack on Titan, because I think the series tends to portray certain antagonists in a very negative way, that you really think, okay, so the author just wanted to make perfectly clear those are the bad guys and they behave like idiots and stupid people. And that's what I really, really hate. I don't like this. So even if you have antagonists, they should still behave in a way that they kind of like make sense, and they're kind of like, they would have respect. Like, when I think back on the action, I would think, yeah, I did a good thing, or did it kind of like the right thing. You see, it's just, you have to kind of like think about their perspective on
Mm.
it.
Mm.
So, and
Yeah, I think so, multi-layered characters are always better
yeah, that
because they are more believable, right? If you have just one side, you always fall into this trope trap
yeah,
where you just have a trope on a character and you immediately identify this trope,
yeah,
and that's everything this character has. It's a lot of animes go that way. You have one character, and this character does exactly
yeah,
only one thing all the time. Well, you find that in television too, a lot actually.
yeah. Actually, it's
Where you
asking.
immediately, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, someone's just asking. I'm actually talking about the anime. I didn't read the manga much. I'm actually not sure if the same is really the case for the manga. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about our characters in Attack on Titan. There's a lot of good things about Attack on Titan. I'm just talking about some minor antagonists, like all the rich people, like all the rich rulers, which are just like really embarrassing characters in total. They're like portrayed in the way that they're just really depending on the people who are protecting them, and they're now getting to panic because those people are going away to do some other work protecting the general people. I don't know, and I just hated how those characters were portrayed, just because they were rich and ridiculous because of that. I don't know.
And very one-dimensional. That's true.
Yeah.
Every single one of them was the same, basically.
Yeah,
But,
I just saw the ones on the enemy, and that was enough for me. And there were only
yeah,
a couple very short scenes, and but I really didn't like those.
it's like watching Pokemon.
I don't know. I didn't watch Pokemon for a very long time.
In Pokemon, everyone has the character of sandpaper.
Mm,
It's really bad.
okay.
They're so one-sided that I don't know why they still make that anime. Because you basically know exactly, but wait, well, there are some characters that have more depth, but
Hmm.
not the characters you see a lot, like the protagonist. Would be awesome if that character had more than just I want to be the best ever.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think this. I wouldn't expect Pokemon to be a very deep show in the first place.
True, it's just merchandise in the end. So
Okay. So yeah, I'm still gonna place more props because I'm currently. I have fun I have just fun placing props right now. So now that was just me ranting about characters, and that's. I'm not saying that's a lot of good advice. It's just my opinion based on characters, and
yeah,
I'm not even sure I'm really following that advice myself perfectly. But I mean, it's at least my opinion, and I tend to think a lot about antagonists and more about antagonists and protagonists, because you really tend to get antagonists wrong more easily than protagonists. Yeah. Anyway, so
Watch the latest GIF.
later GIF. Okay.
Let me guess, the huge guy is German. Pfft, no. It's a German. Jörg. Jörg is not
Okay, what's
German.
this GIF?
You
Okay.
just insulted him. He will judge you with his
Wait,
hugeness.
there is. What is this? Oh, the helix fossil. Oh my gosh.
That's what happens if you can just change assets.
That's awesome. I like the fact that people do
So
this.
there you go, guys. You can already mod the game.
It's not that easy, but it works. Okay, great.
Wow, it's so quiet.
I know.
So quiet.
That's usually when I'm most productive, though.
That's true. With some good RPG music or game music in general.
I'm not listening to anything right now and never doing a stream. Oh yeah, actually, do you see I created those small balconies here? Now we just need some good plants to
Ah,
place to put there. Oh yeah, and one thing.
that's probably work for Teku.
Yeah, I think so. You might be able to add some.
TQ.
But now what something I actually want to create in the Tileset is that I want to have some separator for the left side here of the building, or the right, like the left and right end, because it's there's not a very clear border here, and I think that's what I'm
Yeah,
gonna do now.
I see what you mean. It looks like a cutoff
Yeah, a
right
bit.
now.
So I'm just gonna create some tiles that will just put on top of, like in the upper layer. So I don't. I think you
Oh,
will need
that will look good, I
less
think.
tiles then.
Wait, calling him German is insulting him. Is he from Bavaria? No.
Okay.
Yeah, calling Bavarians Germans would definitely insult me. Can't do that. But I only want the best for Germany.
Let's hope
and
that not the
Bavaria.
team from Kronk Games is here.
I don't know where this joke comes from, but I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Everyone is hating on Bavaria. Unless you're from Bavaria. Then you hate even more. Did we actually announce the name of the new guy too? No, right? We didn't yet.
No,
Of fancy guy.
we can announce it now if you want to.
Can.
Sure.
I don't know.
I mean, streams wouldn't be interesting if we wouldn't leak some information during streams.
Should we leak a new name? I don't know. What do the people think? Should we leak?
Create a poll. Do you want to know the name of the new guy?
Alright, you know. Poll.
That's what he sees, what he get. What? Okay. Yes, they're cube-like bushes, because everything is cube in crosswords, at least in Rhombus Square. Everything in Rhombus Square is either a rhombus or a square. That makes perfect sense.
It's written Jörg.
It is written. Only Link can defeat Cannot. Sorry, I just had to think about that.
It is written.
Oh, crap. Ah, crap. I have to create a new layer. No, never mind.
I just added a straw poll. You can pick an option.
I wonder what people will pick.
Right now it's 50-50.
I think, I'm pretty sure. What, seriously? Some people don't want to know the name? I'm confused. Why did I not create a new layer? Let me create a new layer. God damn it.
But we already have a layer.
God. I just can't use that word in the stream here. It's just not possible.
When we announce the name, you have to show the picture of him pointing.
Sure.
John Cena. No. No, his name is Mark.
Mark.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Where did you want to use
I did not
this?
hit her. I did not.
How was this? Oh, hey, lad, Mark.
Oh, hey, Landmark.
We have some great ideas about dialogues you will see in the game.
Actually, something very, very important. We discussed the teleportation system.
Oh yeah, we can
Ooh.
talk about that. That's very interesting.
Ooh. Coming maybe in between version 0.3 and 0.4. Ooh.
I think so.
Hopefully. It should.
Yeah.
It definitely should. Because, well, I mean, we already have the idea. We just need to make the data structure and stuff like that. Ready, Fishka, anyway, how's your sex life? Wait. As good as a dry. No, I can't do that. Sorry, I can't.
What's service without?
That's not PG friendly. I can't do that.
What? Seriously? No, come on, guys. Not gonna happen. What the fridge? No. Forget about it. Oh, wait. Yes, shirtless. Yes. So I'm gonna remove my shirt. So here you see.
And under that shirt is another shirt.
No, that shirt is a t-shirt. I'm not gonna remove the t-shirt. Look, I'm shirtless. Ta-da. Yes, I cheated. I don't care.
So everyone who's under 18 right now should please look away.
I just wearing my t-shirt, dude.
Still, that's too much skin.
Too much skin and hair.
Why do you move your t-shirt? Why not play I'm sexy and I know it?
Nope.
So yeah, again,
Also, I'm
teleportation
cold now,
system.
guys. I'm cold.
Let's get back to the teleportation. Quickly change the subject.
Yes,
That's
please.
That's the best way we can handle it. So I actually have to Skype about this, right? About the implementation of the data structure.
Yeah.
What did we actually? Yeah, it's just where the world map. We need a world map. So basically, it will be the same as it's now, but there will be additional button where you can switch to the world map, and on the world map you can select the area, and if you click on the area, you go into the map, and then you can select a landmark, and you get teleported to it. The good thing is, this can be done by just pointing at things, and this works with the gamepad too now. So something we added for 0.3 is you can hover over a map and see the name of the map. And since you need to hover over a map for that, we added a new option for the gamepad. You now have a cursor in the map menu. So yeah, that.
Yes. I didn't listen because
Um,
I'm kind of irritated by something which is not working properly here. I don't know. It's
Bye, noobs.
by whoever's leaving.
Bye, who's up new?
Why? The tiles are not aligned. What the fridge? The prepare. Oh wait, they are aligned. They are aligned. What? I'm confused. Yes, I'm really confused right now.
Now we don't know the name of the new guy. All right, new guy. How many votes did we got? Let me check. Oh, it's 50-50. I can make a decision on 50-50.
Okay.
So please, people, go ahead and vote for one option. Yes, yes, whatever you want.
Except for me shirtless, please.
Yeah, that's not an option in the poll I did. It's just unless I did another one.
Oh, okay. Oh. But what? Come on, that's a great poll, yeah. Yes or yes. That's
That's the poll. That's the poll I originally posted.
okay.
Oh, wait, it seems to be leaning to yes. I actually thought it would be yes, but well, whatever.
Yeah, it's
We'll just go with it.
still gonna be fine.
Yeah. So go ahead. Let's open.
The
Pointy fancy
pointing.
guy.
Should I just show it in game or something?
You can show it in game, yeah,
Yeah.
if you want.
Let me just go there. Dungeon top.
We're like making such a big deal of it, but it's just like a name.
Oh, you know what? I'm just now quickly gonna show like the cutscene so people have something interesting to see. Like for those people who
Ooh,
actually stay.
even more leaks. The
Yeah,
leaks are.
the leaks are real.
So for every one of the 39
Oh, come
people
on, guys.
here, you will.
I'm even gonna start the game in desktop mode because I hate this frame rate. So now in good frame rate, hopefully, and sound, which is not final. I really hope we will get a character theme for this guy.
There's a leak in the boat. You get it? A leak. Leak.
Yeah, I get
L-E-E.
it. Boat's gonna sink. Oh my god,
The
look
boat's gonna
guys, it's a
sink, that's a
cutscene. Ah wee, but wasn't that fun? Nuts. It's
We
Emily.
should have like a big
Emily
announcer
Maker.
who says the name like the Smash announcer, and
We
then
did that.
the letters pop
Yeah.
up.
We did that face here in the last death stream. The lion smiling face. It's not canon. Okay.
So just wait until the stream catched up,
Mm.
because I have to wait.
Yep.
I have to wait.
And you see someone disappearing. Nothing new so far. And now she's gonna explain how you cannot enter Rhombus Square. And now the big plot twist. And now imagine some music change. Here's the new character. And he just noticed how layers just appeared out of nowhere. And she is level 4. How can that be? There's only one conclusion really, and she's cheating. That's the conclusion found. So, and here we got the pointing fingers. And now we announce the name, Stefan, I think.
Alright,
the name?
the name is Apollo.
Oh my gosh.
Dun, dun, dun. Und jetzt. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can sing that. Anyway, so yeah, that's the new character, and he's pointing. He really likes to point a lot.
Yeah. You could say he's pointy.
And I really like the expressions for this character. I had a lot of fun with them because it was interesting creating expressions for a character with these kind of eyes without any pupils.
Yeah.
It's just white, and so it's all about the shape of the eyes. It's very interesting. And here's Jörg. He has a lot of interesting expressions, as you can see.
Yeah. Fancy guys, fancy.
Yes, and Jörg is very large.
Yeah, he's incredibly
He's
large.
huge. So okay. He didn't fit in the default character sprite size. Had to extend sprites. And now he's flying away. Oh my gosh, yeah, okay. We might work on this scene a bit, maybe. Sometimes. Okay. So now you saw the cat scene. That was like the big revealing surprise, and you also got the character name. So
No, his name is not Apollo Justice. His name is Apollo Wrongfulness.
something else.
Something else, yeah. Apollo's his username
Yeah.
for now.
Right, so let's continue with some work then. I was just creating tile graphics.
So it was interesting how we got up with that name. I think we were actually talking about the pointing gesture, and I was just, how about Apollo?
The thing is,
And-
I just decided by myself, yeah, this character should point like Phoenix Wright. I just
Yeah.
decided this at random, and then I made the graphics and spent like 2 hours on that. Just the freaking pointing graphics.
I thought about like it would be funny because he's shouting it out. You're cheating just like Apollo, and why not just go with the flow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Check out the GIF. Actually, a nice dialogue.
What? Check out the GIF.
Yeah, by Kovac.
Word. Oh yeah, the cheater. What is going on here? What?
That was my idea.
Sacre bleu, what the fuck was that?
Apollo something else confirmed. Yes, his last name is actually something else. That's how creative we got. We finally got to the point where we not just only steal names, we just don't know anything and just call him something else. So now we just leaked 2 names
Yep. And a cutscene.
and a cutscene. Boy, we are generous today.
Mm-hmm. Where was I? Here.
We should talk to Capcom. Maybe they allow us to play the Concerned theme, Cornet theme. Concerned. What the hell? Cornet theme. The Concerned. What should I do?
I
Oh,
wonder how the
boy.
concert team looks. Sounds like.
It's But yeah, the Cornet theme and then Intero can make a remix of that and it will be played there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't want to overdo it with the reference, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
We already used the name. I'm actually not perfectly sure we just should use the same name, but I would just do it.
It's cool. It's his username. So.
Yeah.
And Apollo is a Greek god, right?
Yeah.
And now, well, we actually never checked. It's the god of music, poetry, art, archery, medicine, sun, light, and knowledge. Well, I guess that fits.
Oh, cool. I don't need to adapt those graphics. Awesome. I love this. I love it when I don't have to adapt graphics. Okay. I decide to not create upper graphics after all. Just put on the lower graphics. I don't know why. Okay, let's fix this. Fix this. Ah, I have to update this graphics here. This kind of sucks. I mean, I don't really. I think I will actually. Yeah. Hmm.
By the way, you're still showing the game.
Oh my. Oh gosh, damn it! I hate it. So back to the monitor. Sorry guys, I've been doing some sprite art. Um, back on track. So what time do we have?
Close to 10.
Close to 10. Yeah, once we, I think once we reach 10, I think we might stop the stream then.
All right.
It's just, yeah, we won't do the stream very long today. Because, yeah, we really have to focus on creating more content. So that's also why there's less drawing today again.
Well, I drew something.
That's true. Oh yeah, actually, we still have to show your Bergen village concept.
Yeah,
Right.
the very, very, very first.
Hmm?
Where nothing is complete.
Yeah, but still. We can do this in a couple of minutes actually. Yeah, I just want to finish those graphics and then we can do that. Oh, that looks rather nice. I like it.
So while Felix is doing his thing, has anyone played Metal Gear?
Oh, nobody would play that, I think. Why would anybody play that?
I was actually a bit down because the online mode will only start in December. And I really wanted to play this with friends, but I didn't know. And I completely underestimated the size of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that Peace Walker was pretty long, but dude. This game is too big. The new one. The Phantom Pain. I really have to thought about it. Metal Gear Solid 5. I actually wonder why they still call it Metal Gear Solid. Although you don't play as Solid Snake. Hopefully this is somehow created. Yeah, I actually like the Metal Gear series too. I think they have some quirkiness in them.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I like
like
about
that.
it too.
Yeah, I like that too.
It's not all very it's not all very serious and realistic. It has always this kind of the weird stuff which makes it so charming, I
But
think.
please don't spoil anything for anyone.
No, I don't.
That goes for you too, Atlasser.
Yeah, I can't really spoil anything. I'm out. I'm innocent. So,
Because I guess many people are very interested in the story, at least for me. Um, I'm very interested to see what will happen. I see lots of how's the word retconning retconning.
I don't know what you mean.
I think it's retcon, right?
What does it mean?
When you when you rewrite the history and basically show a new history, you already told some fact about the past, but then you completely change it, making no sense whatsoever.
Okay. Like compared to old Metal Gear Solid parts, or
Yeah, right. So it doesn't make sense if you played some Metal Gear, some Metal Gears, and
okay, oh
you would
dear.
follow the story closely, and it wouldn't make sense. The time wouldn't make sense, and something like that.
I see.
Yeah, retconning. All right, it's retconning, right? But I don't care really because I don't know. Kojima has this ability to make his story interesting and not too um, too light. They get pretty harsh, but it's still like there's some quirkiness right to it, and I just love that.
All right, I fixed the things in the buildings I wanted to fix. Not center, it's central. Derp. So actually, I think we don't even get to the point where I start to work on the interior, but I don't think that's actually a big. It's probably better that way because I'm not really well prepared for the interior. I just got some graphics from Martina, but I have to extend a lot of stuff, and I'm not really sure how long that would take. I'm not sure if that's a good thing to do during a stream anyway. So it was now mostly working on the details of this map, and now this is done more or less. So I think this looks more complete now. It looks like the wall is ending here to some extent. Yeah, I guess you could improve it a bit more, but nah, I'm okay with that. So yeah, so that's all for mapping today. Now let's just show the Bergen Village stuff, right?
Bergen, yeah.
Okay.
You mean
Is it an area?
Kina? You can play Metal Gear Solid. Sorry, I just want to answer. You can play it, but I think it would be better if you play at least 3, Peace Walker, and Metal Gear Solid 4. I would say those are very important to play. You can still play Metal Gear Solid 5, but you will not understand these characters. You will not understand why they know each other and what's the big deal in them knowing each other and why there's some scenery presented like that, because Kojima has his way with presenting content. He's always like very about having this camera angle and this camera angle, and it has some meaning and it's very important. Then you zoom into it and it makes no sense, but whatever.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
Ground
looking.
Zeroes is not that important, I think, because you actually get an explanation of what happens in Ground Zeroes. So it's not really important. But yeah, 3, Peace Walker, and 4, I would say. Maybe 1, 2.
Yeah.
The first one.
So
Yeah,
look,
go ahead. It's Bergen.
I
The
can't
first version of
tell much
Bergen.
about this, but yeah, that looks interesting. It's like you got. It looks like the city is structured around a path, which is not quite what I was imagining, but it looks interesting in
And
a
my
way.
idea was that think about um, I thought about how did this village came to be, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought, look, the big house in the middle was once just an inn.
Mm-hmm.
People traveled there and got along there, but over the time, more and more people built their houses there,
Okay.
and so it would make sense that they built it along the paths.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's usually how cities are created. But I
Yeah.
was actually, what I was originally mentioned was like this rather large collection of buildings which is designed around that big building. So it's different from what I imagined, but not
Mm-hmm.
saying we have to do it that way, but we can
Yeah,
also do.
maybe if you have some time, just draw it next to it and
Yeah,
what you imagined, and maybe we can find a solution that works for
yeah.
both of us.
It's like I
Because
think.
I'm kind of not sure what you mean with surrounding by. I have a picture in my head, but I'm not
Hmm.
sure if that's what you mean. So
And also, what I actually want to do is that the hills are just going upwards. In your case, there's actually this hill in the middle, and you go upward and downwards again. And actually, that might be more interesting. But I just had this layout in mind where it's just everything is going uphill.
we
So
can change that to go only up too.
yeah, and the funny thing is that you can do stuff like you walk up to the upper level, and then you can jump on top of the buildings that are below. That's the kind of stuff you can do in this kind of city.
That was my idea.
Yeah, well, you can also do it here, I guess, but there's more potential when everything is going uphill. That's what I
That's
thought.
true. That's true. Hmm.
So maybe we'll create another revision. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
I maybe make a second version, and maybe you can draw something in, and I will
Yeah, maybe I will
add
give you
a.
a rough sketch and you can work out the details or something like this. I mean, let's
Yeah,
just create.
I already have an idea to. I just all everything that's behind gets higher.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Yeah.
say everything that's behind the first where you go up, then I just lift this to
Mm-hmm.
one step, and that would make sense.
Yeah.
And maybe to the left, maybe we can change this to a path, to a second path. But I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah.
Maybe something like an ending thing there would be cool.
Yep.
Maybe having a smith there, a special smith, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Always have something interesting in a village.
Yeah. Because the thing is, the layout you have right now, that's more what I imagine for the Heat Village. Like the Heat Village, I imagine like a place which really is designed around a traveling road. At least that's what I had in mind. While the Code Village is more designed like a village which appeared around a special building. That's why I just thought there's this one building
Mm,
in the middle and then houses appearing around it. That's more like how I imagined it. Be- because like
yeah. It's probably best if you just make a rough sketch and
yeah,
I
I'll just
get a
make a
better
rough
picture.
sketch. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
So
I work it out from there.
all right. I mean, otherwise I like the idea. I mean,
Yeah,
probably I
maybe we can reuse it for the Heat Village. So
yeah, exactly.
so no problem.
I mean, okay. I mean, that's the whole point about sketching stuff, so you don't spend a lot of time on a layout and you can discuss it and then do another version until you find something good. Right. Okay. All right. I think now the dev stream is almost concluded. Like we are close to our 2 hour mark. Um, if people here have any questions, yeah, this is currently missing label. They have to do this properly. Um, are there any questions left for people to ask? I think people are just talking about Metal Gear Solid 5 right now.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
That's a good game.
Yeah,
It's a
actually
very, very.
I kind of want to play it too, but I kind of can't afford to do it because you can't spend so much time playing those games, and I really have problems playing games shortly over a long time. I tend to just get stuck into a game and cannot let go. Uh, yeah, that's the thing is actually I didn't plan to do any drawings today, mostly because drawings really take a long time, and I actually would rather try to work on content. That's why I don't plan to do any drawings today. Sorry, guys. But maybe some other time. Let's say once we do our release for end of September, um, And then I think we can be more relaxed, and then I might be able to do a bit of drawing again. But we actually have a lot of stuff to do for end of September, so I really want to push content. And I actually wasted a lot of time this weekend, so I really have to push it this week again. Um,
Do you intend to
Drawings
make a
for
glitch area?
children. Go to work, you developer scum. God damn it. Yeah, more or less like this, I guess.
All right, senpai, please don't hit me. Do you intend to make a glitch area, like some area in Crossworlds is broken? There already is an area right in the beginning.
Which is broken. You mean
It's not
like,
broken.
but it's kind of glitchy, yeah.
It's kind of glitchy.
Yeah, that's
So,
actually true. If you note, if you
so
watch closely, the area in the beginning of the game kind of looks glitchy.
yeah, there's something wrong with this area
Hmm.
inherently.
So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. So it's kind of like a short stream, but at least it was a dev stream. So if you keep it that short, it's easier for us to do it every week as well, I think. And so yeah, essentially, thanks everybody for watching. And
Mm.
I guess we will have another dev stream. I think actually this week Sunday will work at least for me. So we will most likely have a dev stream next Sunday, I think. So thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah, thank
Have a
you.
good week because it just started. And until next time, right? So
Yeah,
goodbye.
bye bye.